appreciate that intro. Nothing warms up a crowd like being told you're a lawyer. I've learned that much in my life. I want to be totally honest with you. I have never done this in like a professional capacity before. So this is my first time, and it seemed like a better idea when I signed up than it feels now, because it's very nerve-wracking. So I'm like, hot flash. You guys mind if I just take this off for a second? Okay. I feel better. Now that I'm in my church clothes, I feel much better. I am nervous though because there's people here, there's family, there's friends. Settle down, Tracy. The girl I dated in 6th grade is back there with her fiance. There he is. I gotta ask, does she still do that thing where she writes her name on her notebook 100 times? Yeah. The good news is they've only given me like 15 minutes tonight, which is like 0.3 in billable hours. 0.4 if we're rounding up. The bad news is for you guys, the reason they only gave me that much time is that I'm really not that good. So there's a reason for that. And I want to prove that point by starting off on a serious note. We want to have fun here tonight, and I just want to sort of address this head on, the elephant in the room. And I want to let you guys know that I sympathize with you because I understand what it means being from Peoria and having this thing that is a part of you, this thing that you've come to rely on all these years, and maybe not just you, but maybe your father and your father's father before you, and then one day you find out that it's gone. I sympathize with you. And I, for one, will never forget the day they told me that Big Al's was moving. It's something I struggle with every day when I wake up. But we're survivors in this town, You just wake up the next morning, you grab a fistful of dollar bills, and you keep on going, which is what I've done all these years. True story, when they first announced that they were moving Big Al's, the original location for the new Big Al's was going to be right next to my law firm. My law firm is called Quinn, Johnston, Henderson, Pretorius, and Cerullo. And we were super... That's my wife, thank you. The first heckler of the night. So we were psyched about that. I mean, who wouldn't be, to have a strip club next door to your business? I was probably more excited than most. I had already gone out and gotten the zoning approval to put a stripper daycare in the basement. Because I thought that would be a good revenue enhancer for our firm. And I had it all worked out. Everything was worked out, except my marketing team could never settle on the perfect name for my stripper daycare. Had a couple of kind of finalists. We had the Enchanted G-String. We had Little Red Riding Pole. We had Once Upon a Stripper. And the one that I thought provided the most sort of kind of cross-marketing synergy was just Quinn, Johnston, Raven, Sapphire, and Tiffany. Everybody loves strippers. But it was not meant to be. They ended up moving Big Al's like all the way to the other end of town, which sucks. I gotta walk like 6 blocks for my lap dance at lunch every day. It's awful. And they stole my idea. They put a daycare right next to Big Al's. You guys are aware of that, right? It's right there in the bus station. Now you look like a responsible crowd. Do we have any parents in the crowd? Yeah. Any daycare users in the crowd? Nobody wants to admit that. It's okay. I have to ask you, like, at any point, you're having that very serious conversation, like, where are we going to put our precious snowflake in daycare? At any point, did the thought occur to you, hey, by chance, is there a daycare anywhere that is surrounded on 3 sides by a strip club, a pawn shop, and an adult bookstore? Preferably with degenerate bus station people wandering around, because Like, why would you not put your kid there? And so you imagine dropping your kid off there at the bus station daycare, and he's hopping out of the car like, Daddy, I want to go to the playground. And you have to tell him, Billy, I'm sorry, Lover's Playground is not what you think there across the street. It's a very different kind of playground. Got some old timers in the crowd tonight who are probably still pissed about the name change. What did Lover's Playground used to be called? Does anybody remember?
Swingersville.
Okay.
Why do you know that? Thank you.
That was a curiously immediate response to what I thought was sort of an obscure piece of Peoria trivia. Sir, down front, if you don't mind me asking, did they continue honoring your platinum VIP lifetime membership at Swingers World after they changed the name? So you still have access to the Sunday brunch there, that's good. And second question, seriously, because I can tell people here might want to know, was there any interruption in your monthly subscription to Boob Hunter magazine when they changed? That's good, that's good. I heard their election coverage was like second to none. Really drilled down into the positions that the candidates were taking on things. That was intentional, the wording of that line. Having never done this before, people gave me advice, and people said, Matt, politics is something that everybody has in common. You should talk about politics, which seemed like good advice. So I feel comfortable telling you that aside from my day job, I am also, and this is true, I am a senior policy analyst for your very own representative in Congress, Darren LaHood. So the two Republicans in the crowd announced themselves. I got that job because I've known Darren since like 35 years, like since somebody can add. Okay, that's good. I've known Darren since he and I started together at Spalding back in the day. Yeah, and I can tell you, I don't care what your politics are, I can tell you from having known Darren for that long, from the bottom of my heart, I can assure you, he has no idea what he's doing at all. Like literally, you would get a more coherent vision for the future of America by handing Willie York a bottle of Night Train and a camcorder. It's like that. And as his senior policy advisor, I try to help out any way I can. I'm proud that I'm the one that came up with the idea for his Meet the Candidate video. Maybe you saw it on YouTube when he first ran. It was a frame-for-frame recut of the Kim Kardashian AJ, Ray J, whatever the hell his name was, sex tape. I thought that was a good idea. And I do want to assure you that Darren, he is committed to taking Peoria's values to Washington. He really is. He doesn't get a lot of credit for this because he's not like that, but his first act upon being elected to Congress was to sponsor legislation defining once and for all marriage as a sacred bond between a man and a woman, or two chicks if they're super hot. And what we decided and what we figured out is if you tack the so-called LaHood Amendment, you can pass just about any law you want. Like right now, he is working with the most liberal members of Congress to turn Yosemite National Park into a toxic waste dump, and they don't care because the LaHood Amendment is in there. So that's good news. Here's the thing about Peoria is a place that people have heard of, by and large, but they don't know a lot about Peoria. So you get asked the question a lot, like, what is Peoria? And it's hard to boil that down into kind of a cocktail discussion, like how do you explain the essence of Peoria? So, like Jesus, I finally decided that maybe the best way to explain a complicated existential concept to simple people is by telling a story. So now this is the story I tell when people ask me about Peoria. And you can share this if you want because it's a true story. And it goes like this. This happened about 6 weeks ago. It so happens that a local woman went to a drive-through restaurant, fast food restaurant, took her order, pulled forward, stopped, because that's what women do, to check her order. Checks her order, finds out it's not correct. So she drives back around, comes back through the drive-through, notifies the drive-through attendant. Drive-through attendant disappears for a few minutes, comes back, shoves the bag back to her, and now that's that. So the woman pulls forward again, stops again, now she's suspicious. She checks her order again. At this point, I'm going to quote directly from the police report that was filed with the City of Peoria Police Department. Upon checking her order, the victim ascertained that it now smelled like, and I'm not making this up, urine and vagina. I was worried about that joke because, but Greg already said penis, so it kind of balances out. That's a true story. And first of all, right, I mean, come on, honey, make up your mind. Which one is it? Those are two different things. But moreover, I promise you, if you tell that story, nobody's going to ask you another question about Peoria at all. You're done with that subject. I can see some nervous looks on your faces. I don't want to send you out of here, with a sense of uncertainty, so I will tell you the crime scene in this particular case, it was a Hardee's. Okay. Yeah, which is the point when everybody in the crowd is like, oh yeah, Hardee's, okay. That makes sense. I had a urine burger there just last week. And I don't mean to get down on Hardee's. I like Hardee's, everything but the food. All of you responsible parents have probably had that talk with your kids, when they reach a certain age and you sit them down and you say, you're of an age, you're going to start having certain urges, and I want you to know it's perfectly natural to want to eat Hardee's, but for the love of God, don't let your mother catch you doing it. But what I like the most about Hardee's is their truth in advertising. Everybody knows that fast food is terrible for you, but your average McDonald's commercial, what do you get? You get this United Colors of Benetton group of millennials sitting around, engaged in some wholesome outdoor activity, Hey bro, after we're done training for the Olympic skateboard team, let's go skate down to McDonald's and get some food, right? Which is bullshit, frankly. Hardee's, they don't patronize you like that. Hardee's commercial comes on and they're like, hey, fat ass. Talking to you, the human manatee over on the couch. Here's a pile of barely edible meat products stacked together, shove it into your puke hole, and get on with it. The only thing you're training for is a guest spot on next season's installment of My 600-Pound Life. Let's not kid ourselves. I think the one I saw during the Super Bowl was a quadruple thick burger with a chicken carcass and a pile of deep fried hog entrails on top. It was on a bun that was made out of a jelly donut and a defibrillator paddle. Just, God, no. At this point, I can tell that you probably want to know a little bit more about me. And I appreciate that, but I think it's important to maintain a sense of mystery here. But I will share this one little tidbit, my pet peeve, going back to this day shift, night job, whatever theme. My pet peeve with being a lawyer here in Peoria is as soon as people learn that, the first thing out of their mouth every time is, oh, do you know Jay Jansen? And can I just tell you that question is so gratingly offensive to a lawyer. That's like the equivalent of being introduced to a black guy and saying, oh, do you know Michael Jordan? Because Like, why would you assume that because of this totally random and superficial connection that I would operate on the same stratosphere of the profession as this most successful and well-known lawyer in Peoria? It's offensive. So stop, for God's sake. Now that being said, it does so happen that I do operate on the same stratosphere, and I do know Jay Jansen. If you've never been to his office, you absolutely have to go. The commercials do not do it justice. They really don't. Inside, it's kind of like if you imagine what would happen if somebody hired Scarface, Tony Montana, to decorate a whorehouse in Bangkok. It's like that level of understated dignity throughout. It's very like, say hello to my mother of pearl inlaid toilet seat cover. I see Jay around. I just saw him not too long ago on my way to work. So I'm driving down 29 up there, where it splits into Jefferson. And no kidding, Jay passes me and he's driving a 1976 pearl white Rolls-Royce convertible, which is what you should drive if your daily commute takes you through the most economically destitute area of town. Just in case you break down, you want to make sure you get plenty of attention. That's good. And I was struck with this overwhelming sense of deja vu. I was like, God, where have I seen that particular make and model year of car before? Is it like Captain Von Steuben on the Love Boat? Was it Robert Wagner on Heart to Heart? I can't remember. And so we pulled up at the next light and I rolled my window down and I said, hey Jay, God's honest truth, I have no doubt that was like a total pussy wagon back during the Carter administration. But I'm sitting here with my cell phone. I can hit the eBay app right now and buy that same car for like $6,000. Like the wow factor's kind of, not there anymore. I said, if you want to impress me, and I know you do, I want to see you spend like $500,000 on whatever Kanye drives, Then I'll be impressed. But until then, you just look like an old white guy driving around looking for a Shriners parade. All right, I'm done. Thank you. You'll each receive a statement for services rendered. Thank you.
That's right.